fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the game with the college-branded Venmo debit card. Wrap your team with every tap and earn up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash, a new rewards program from Venmo. No monthly fee, no minimum balance. Just school pride and spending power. Get in the game and sign up for the Venmo debit card at venmo.com/collegecard. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Select schools available. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply at venmo.me/stash terms. Max $100 cash back per month.
What does it mean to be a working actor who finally feels financially safe and still can't bring yourself to open the mail?
This week, we're talking to Lilan Bowden, actress, comedian, podcaster, and someone who spent years cobbling together barista shifts, transcription gigs, and assistant jobs just to keep the lights on.
We talk about how financial trauma lives in the body and what it actually looks like to slowly, awkwardly learn how to spend money again after years of pinching every penny.
The creative economy is broken, but some people are still making it work. We're here to find out how. I'm Anna Marie Cox.
And I'm Open Mike Eagle, and this is Past Due.
Thank you for joining us, Lilan. We have a question we open with every time. We dive right in. When's the last time you worried about covering your monthly expenses?
It was around, the year was 2015.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
We are encouraged.
That's a good,
Yeah.
that's
We are
a good
encouraged when everyone is able to share like a double digit
Oh my gosh.
length of time they felt secure. That's amazing.
It's very special. I do not take it for granted. I don't take it for granted all the time. It was because I booked my first and only series regular, and that changed everything for me. And it wasn't even like a network one; it was on Disney Channel. But even still, like the disparity of like just the money you can get from working weekly to anything weird I was doing before to like really, I mean, like cobbling it together. But most of it is luck. Most of it, right? We know this. But what I think I can be proud of is that up to that point, I had gotten really good in living minimally. And so by the time I actually had something to work with, it was easy to not go crazy with it, be like, okay, well, I pay off and here's another thing that I went in that's really helped me out is that I've never accrued a ton of debt. I've never fallen into that trap. And now that I'm like sharing stories with peers and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I think I might be the only one.
It's tough. It's tough not to. So you clearly have a vivid memory of how it changed. Like you're living with that memory of what changed. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what like specifically you've carried with you. Like, are there things that kind of almost trigger you about that memory? Like, did it shape you in a big way to like all that insecurity?
Are you talking about the chapters before I can finally relax?
Yes.
Or are you talking about okay.
And then, or actually you give me multiple choice. Like I was talking about both. Of course.
Okay.
I'm
yeah.
such a good interviewer.
No, I hear you because they're both like to me equally as like formative, I would say.
Right.
And I think at this point, I'm still calibrating. I'm calibrating these two people and the Lilan before, who, would get a job here and there. my leanest years were, I would say, between like 2012 and 2015. And it's because somewhere in that time, I'm not really great with years. This definitely can be proven wrong, but I was working pretty much full time as a barista. And that was supplementing the work I really wanted to do while I came out here, which was act. And I had gone on one audition, and I had gone on auditions before, but this one was my first like network television audition. It was like a big deal. It was for a series regular, and I booked it off of one audition. Like they didn't have me come back. Like that whole process. I just got a call that said, "You're testing." I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know it was a Hollywood term for like, you're really close to your life changing forever. I thought I had to take a test. Like I did not know.
Well, it is.
Yeah, it's definitely a test that like it really, really adds years on your life, I feel like. And then they called back and they said, "Oh, they're testing your one audition. They taped it." And so I didn't even go through the experience of like, oh my gosh, this is going to be huge. And I didn't know what any of this meant. So I found out I booked it. I thought my life was done at that point. I was like, I'm going to be on billboards. I'm on an ABC show. I quit my job the next day. I was like, I'm famous now, baby. And we did a studio read. It went, and everybody else was getting laughs. And then we did a network read. And they had rewritten all the lines because my character, I think that they were like still trying to figure out like what her role is. She wasn't like the main one. She was just part of the ensemble cast. And right after the network read, it was like not even 30 minutes. I got a call from my manager being like, "You are out of the show completely."
Wow.
And so I had already quit my only source of stable income, and I was too proud to ask for it back. And so then like, that's when the life began of, doing an assistant thing here, doing like a one-off here. One of my like jobs was, this should be information for anybody who speaks into their phone. One of my weird jobs that I got from a friend, freelancing, was we had to listen to voice things that people are speaking into their phone and transcribe them. And you got paid for the amount of like collections you had to do. And there was like 20 sentences in a collection, and they were anything from just like, "You up," literally,
wow.
to.
Was it like training Siri? Like what?
I think so. Is
that like what it was? Or
I mean, we got no information. It was like,
crazy.
"Hey, I've got a friend who also wants to do this work." And then you get a weird email and you open the file and you type in your little computer and you send it back and you talk to no one. And then you get a little check.
Amazing. There's actually a really good story in, I believe it's called the Data Workers Collective. It's a little bit of a sidebar, sorry, but fascinating. And they collect kind of the behind the scenes stories of the human cost of AI. And it's a story about a guy, Nigerian person, who needed to support his family, and answered an ad to do transcription or to do checking AI, interactions. And it wound up being for a like kind of adult texting situation.
Wow.
Where whoever it is that was behind the screen had to play the role of the character that was drawn up by the client. Right. Boy. So female, submissive, dominant, fantasy about a librarian. It was sex work, and it wasn't consensual, essentially. Right. And they had to slide in just to whatever chat they were needed in. And he writes about, it was traumatic. It was traumatic, and it really fucked with his head. It's a really grueling story. I'm sorry to like bring us all down, but like,
well,
since you mentioned it, it's the dehumanization and exploitation of the gig economy, which is a subject of this podcast. So,
right. I mean, also, am I missing something? That's not AI. Right.
Well, that was actually part of the idea was in the essay he talks about, it became more and more clear that it wasn't whatever it is that they were hired to do. This wasn't quite it. And he asked the question if perhaps what was happening was they were impersonating AI, like the person on the other side of the screen was able to imagine they were just interacting with an AI perhaps, or did they think it's so destabilizing? Like the whole essay is wild.
So like everyone's getting duped in this scenario.
Seems like it.
And
everybody except the business owners.
Yeah. Right. And it was like 15 cents a word or something. It was like crazy small amount. And he couldn't tell anyone because it's kind of humiliating because he's having to role play. He's a man, heterosexual man, having to role play in all these different environments. And it is also sort of writ small, a story about the promise. We can maybe this segue into Hollywood in a second, but like how the promise of AI is illusory, right? Like,
yeah, it's I feel like, I mean, I just read that article about how we found out that Waymo cars they're not completely self-automated.
Yes.
Right. Like there's people in the Philippines who are like stepping in. It's not clear to me from reading the articles, like how, like the amount of the involvement, but there's human drivers. So again, we have been duped by the illusion of self-driving cars because when they rolled out Waymo, they didn't roll it out with almost self-driving cars. Like they were
pretty much self-driving.
Pretty much self-driving cars, guys. And I feel like this is just like, again, we're like, wait, like not only, is AI like just robbing our resources and our creativity and nobody wants it, but it's not even like the full promise that nobody wanted. There's still like humans having to check it. There's still, where is life getting easier? Anyway.
And I'm going to bring it full circle to Hollywood. Maybe we'll just bookmark it for later about what's happening in Hollywood now. Because one way to think about it is that what AI does, even if it doesn't actually replace people, is devalue human labor. So we don't think human labor is worth as much as it used to be. So if you sort of say, no, we're going to replace all actors with AI, sorry, but then it doesn't actually happen, but you've punctured the idea that human actors are worth X amount of dollars.
Right.
You've now said they're worth X minus something.
Right. Yeah, just even the idea without even having it come to fruition.
Yes.
Even planting the seed in people's head where it's like, you could do an actor or AI. Already now people are thinking, okay, that's the equal value. And no, I'm furious. I'm so furious. And I think that I don't know. I have family. In fact, I only have family outside the industry, and I come from like a lot of techies and stuff. And so there are different varying opinions on like what AI does or whatever. But there's something in my gut that makes me not want to compromise. I feel like the quote centrist view of AI is like, look, it's a tool, we have to learn it, cause it's not going away and it will be incorporated. And I reject it. I reject it 100%. I don't want to use it as a tool. I don't like anything being summarized for me. I see red when I see that little stupid diamond everywhere. I think it's so rude. and just like, I guess you could pin me against the wall to say like, okay, if like you just need it for some basic stuff like collecting essays or I don't know, but like AI could do the job of an actor. It's like, no, disgusting and wrong. The reason why people are watching films, the reason why people are watching like TV is to be moved, to have a human connection. That's a ingrained thing in us. That's why It's a Wonderful Life continues to be amazing.
I always go back to without, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, you wouldn't have the entire Infinity Saga.
Yes. Yes.
The improvising I am Iron Man is like what allowed the entire Marvel universe to expand from there. So
it starts with a human.
We'd miss ad libs. Can you imagine? Like in all the little choices that people make? I just rewatched a bunch of it Marvel, so it's hot on my mind. But like Benicio del Toro can't exist in AI.
There's so much that can't exist, and like a lot.
You don't get that. You don't get those choices.
No.
These wild choices from an actor.
No, like, and I live in the world, like a lot of the stuff I've done has been in the comedy realm too. It's like, the comedy is built on the idea of spontaneity and surprise and like blowing up expectations. How's that AI gonna do? Oh, I'm so mad.
This episode is brought to you by Factor.
Cold days, big goals, absolutely zero interest in cooking? Factor makes healthy eating easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs.
No planning, no grocery math, no what did I buy this ingredient for?
I love that Factor has quality, functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats.
And there's so much variety. Over 100 rotating meals every week, including the new Muscle Pro meals, if you're doing strength stuff.
And they support your diet, whether it's high protein meals, Mediterranean, whole ingredients, healthy fats, or more. Plus, there are no refined sugars or artificial sweeteners.
I've looked for something like this for a long time, and Factor really is the best.
It's good food that tastes great and is ready in about 2 minutes, always fresh, never frozen, no prep, and no stress. Head to factormeals.com/pastdue50off. That's 50 off. And use code PASSDUE50OFF to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year.
Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan. One free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active.
So good, so good, so good.
Spring styles are at Nordstrom Rack stores now, and they're up to 60% off. Stock up and save on Rag & Bone, Madewell, Vince, All Saints, and more of your favorites.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
Why do we rack? For the hottest deals. Just so many good brands.
Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
It all sort of speaks to precarity in the modern sense, right? Like that's one of the forces that are making things tough on people trying to make a living as a creative now, is that some people's jobs are literally being replaced by AI. And I think in thinking about that, and part of the reason this platform exists is to sort of provide inspiration for people trying to push through that. Mm-hmm. And I want to take it back to the moment in your life you were talking about before, because getting hired as a series regular, off of one audition and losing that opportunity at a network read, like that's a pretty devastating sort of reality shift. And I'm really curious what it was like for you to push through that. Like, I feel like there's something in your ability to stay encouraged to pursue opportunities past that could be helpful for other people. So if there's anything you can remember about what kept you encouraged during that moment.
I mean, my first answer is like shame. Shame is extremely powerful motivator for me.
Shame is powerful.
I'm trying to work around that now. I've got a therapist, but part of it was just like I was too embarrassed. I was too embarrassed. So I'm like, it has to work. It has to work, and it has to work without and I also like lived across the street from the coffee shop that I like worked at. So it was like a constant presence. Like every time I saw it, I'm like reminded of like, that's where you can't go anymore. So where are we going to go to now? It was the most tenacious, I think. I had been like, since I dropped in LA, where I was like, that was my first like kind of like, I'll take any gig, anything. I was doing a lot of extra work. But outside of shame, I think my personality is like kind of like a weird one. It's like once I decided like on the university I was going to go to, I knew I wasn't going to transfer. I was like, I just got to write it out. Like I'm just not that kind of person. I'm like not like I use my blocks as like a challenge, like the challenge that I am supposed to receive. And I don't actually know, I don't have a lot of ability to change in the moment, like paths. And so that happening of like, you don't have a job and you don't have this TV show was like, okay, those are the new rules of the game. Like those are the new rules. So like we don't go back, we go forward. And so now it's a new game and these are the parameters. And so time to get creative. Time to start asking some buddies, what do you do for work? Can I get in there? And I mean, I feel like the most useful skill one can have in like in this industry is your ability to make friends. That's like, it's worth more than talent. I know I'm like pretty talented, but I'm more talented at making friends, and that's gotten me farther than my actual talent, I think. They work in tandem, because you can't just hire someone who stinks, I guess, I see it on TV sometimes, so I guess you can. Anyway, point is, but like, so a lot of these challenges, like they weren't the most impossible things because I had friends, I had outlets, I always knew I could ask somebody about something, and I was lucky, like, one friend hooked me up with this transcribing job and another friend hooked me up. She was leaving, she was the assistant of like a big time producer from the 70s. And she was like, hey, this job is open. You just kind of got to sit with, my boss and just kind of sit with him as he decides whether he wants to email somebody back or not. And then you dictate what he says. And so like, it was challenging, but also easy because I had so much support.
I really appreciate Mike bringing us back to like your personal journey, by the way, instead of an abstract discussion of AI. Although
we can do both. We can hold space.
Super impactful on your particular like world right now too. My world, Mike's world, all of that. The thing I'm also curious about is you mentioned how that had a big impact on like the way you go about your work today. Like that period of financial instability has an impact on how you go about your work and what you think, how you think about your career. And we talk sometimes on this show about financial trauma, which is a real thing that some people, it happens when you have a lot of scarcity and security, and it like makes your relationship to money really complicated. And I was wondering if that's like for me, there are certain specific things that come up, like specific kinds of purchases sometimes that come up. And I'm like, or,
is it a purchase you make and it scares you, or what is it?
Well, sometimes it's like, oh, that's the kind of thing I bought when I thought I was doing well. And like, is that a sign of something? If I'm buying that again, do I need to slow down? Do I deserve to get that?
Oh, like almost kind of like, oh, do I jinx my luck if I buy this thing? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of, and also like, I will tell you that, whenever I get any kind of late notice on a bill, even if it's kind of one of the meaningless ones, that's just like, hey, it's like almost like an automated one, like, hey, nudge, or it's not even a late notice. It's just your bill is due. Right. I get a little like, like, did I make sure to get that paid? Do I have that set up for auto pay? Because sometimes you get that notice and it doesn't say you're enrolled in auto pay. Right. It just says your bill is due.
Yeah.
And you have to like go in and like, okay, is it no longer set up for autopay? Like I have discovered IRS will send you a notice if you just set up your autopay. Like there's a lag time between the first autopay and when you set it up. And like it sends me into a full body panic. So that's my journey. Sorry for going on.
No, I wanted it. I really hear this.
I'm always curious how it lives in the body, how that experience of precarity lives in the body, basically.
I'm going to be very candid. I have a resource that not a lot of people have, and it is it is worth it for me to my reaction to it. So something that exists with me still is I can't look at it. Like any bill that comes through, like will sit in envelopes for a really long time. But I have to like wiggle out too. Like when I was like much younger, I got into by myself alone, a skateboard accident. And I blacked out for a bit. It was on the set of a USC grad film because I was an idiot. We were taking like a 10-minute break and I was like, I'm just going to skateboard down this hill like an idiot. And I did. And I woke up in a pool of my own blood with a bunch of paramedics around me. Whoa. And they took me to the hospital and they got me my stitches and blah, blah, blah. And because they just saw me as like just this poor kid, my bill was really low. Like it was like surprisingly payable. I remember this, but like something about the medical bill, because part of the scarcity is like, I can't get hurt, you know, like I don't know what would happen if I got hurt. So I just don't you know, but like this, and also I was like in my young 20s, I didn't believe I could get hurt.
Right. Felt invincible.
So then now I'm in this category of like, oh, I'm somebody who got hurt. I'm somebody who has a hospital bill. And I could not connect with it so much. I let it go to collections. And it followed me for years and years and years. I think it followed me for like 10 years. And then finally I went to collections and then I finally paid it. So my resource, doubling back, is when I booked this TV show, my manager suggested that I incorporate. And so I did it with the help of a business management company. And the management company was like, would you like to be full service? And I kind of I'm really not knowledgeable. And so I was like, oh, okay. I thought that's what like people did when they incorporated. No, it's just, it's this extra service they offer. And I pay 5% out of every paycheck and they make it so I don't have to look at the bills. Like, I know. I know this is like, I also like, I say this with a very aware candidness and vulnerability of just like, I know a lot of people do not have access to this, you know? But the truth is that I have such a fraught and anxious relationship with finances, and I've never been able to stay like the only way that I've been able to like head above water is just not spend. So like, you know, in the leanest years, this is between quitting barista job, getting the TV show. Actually, I was like not buying toothpaste. I was not buying toothpaste. Like I was so scared of, you know, like it's like everything went to just next month's rent. Everything went to blah, blah, blah. I'm not buying stuff. And fortunately, I was so scared of debt, and so, which has helped me out in the long run. But like, I was really, I was so frightened of debt too, that like, I just lived minimal, toothpasteless. And
what did you use for toothpaste?
I just didn't for a while. I'm gross.
You must have really like genetically healthy teeth.
Thank you so much. It was like a long period. It wasn't.
I mean, you're an
like
actress. Wouldn't it have been investment?
I was not seeing things like that. I was seeing. Okay. I mean, honestly, you can take a look at my Getty images, and you would not believe this woman is an actress. I'm wearing some weird, like hand-me-downs on the red carpets. Like that's one of those things that didn't evolve. Like that's something that I'm still calibrating now as like a person who has means who, and it's not like explosively so, but like, gosh, from where it was, I'm like, oh, okay, I can get a brunch and I'm not even thinking about it. Oh,
so, I mean,
God.
that to me, that's an interesting thing to sort of zero in on, is going from that place where things are so precarious that you're like ignoring basic needs to the degree that you can, to when you actually book this stable television show. I don't know how many seasons it was or whatever, but I'm curious how long it took you to sort of relax that first level of precarity, that first level of you can let your hair down and go buy some toothpaste and just sort of get back to what you may have saw as like a normal relationship to money after that precarious time.
Sure. Fortunately, I was back on the toothpaste train at this point. Toothpaste.
Were
was
you dating
flowing.
when you weren't using toothpaste?
No, that's like you've reminded me of this. I'm remembering this time vividly, and I remember during no toothpaste time. Honestly, it was just like a couple weeks. Like I just remember that being a symbol of like the lowest moment of like I'm just not buying anything for 2 weeks ever. I got asked out on a date during the 2 weeks of no toothpaste, and I was so stressed out. During the date, I could not connect with this guy, and I had to end the date early because even though he was planning on paying for it, I was like, knowing that something is being provided for, the environment of being in the environment of a restaurant where something had to be paid for was too much. And I had to end it early. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's not you. Like, I have to go home.
My teeth aren't brushed. I'm just
my teeth aren't brushed, like,
now, did you do like just like toothbrush?
Yeah, just like a water.
Yeah, okay.
And
that counts. That counts.
Yeah,
with, a little baking soda on it for future reference. Like that's that grit.
I was not in a place where I could be thinking about toothpaste alternatives.
I'm sorry.
Like, I mean, now that I hear it, like that's great, but yeah, I mean, again, too, it was like my mind was small and trapped. Like the fear. Like I'm still living in an apartment. I'm living with 3 roommates. And this time, like, so I have a roof over my head. I've I've got water coming out of the tap. It's not like that, but I couldn't think. It was just I was rattled. I was in a little can.
Yeah.
But Mike, I don't know if, you were saying, what was that transition like?
Yeah, like how long it took you to sort of relax into your nervous system in that sort of like first level way.
It was kind of like I feel like kind of like, in puberty, you have certain body parts that grow at certain times. It wasn't really like some things I was like, I got used to like right away and too fast, like I was like, yeah, let's go to brunch again. I love brunch so much. The show, it was a Disney Channel show. It shot in Utah. And I was performing with, my best friend, at the time, and we just didn't know how to not like hang out together. So I was like, come to Utah, hang out, move there. And she's like, I don't know. But the set did meet her and gave her a job as dialogue coach. So we did actually get to hang out in Utah together. But both of us came from the scarcity mentality. So the first year, both of us are making the most money we've ever made in our lives on a regular basis, but we didn't know how to spend it. So like, when I got the call saying, hey, you got to move to Utah, I got the smallest, crappiest studio, apartment, like just like big box style. The floors are laminate, but they look like wood, and when they gave her a job, it just made sense to both of us. It was like, you'll live in my studio. And so for an entire season of shooting television, we just like, she slept on the couch, I slept in the bed, and like we just like lived, everybody else was like getting place. And this was Utah. The cost of living is a lot lower, but like, we just didn't know how that we could spread out a little bit. You know, we really made things hard for ourselves. And the studio got no light, and the laundry room was it felt like a mile away. It was still on the complex, and Utah snows. And so I have these memories of like just us trudging our laundry baskets in the snow, drying it. And by the time we got back to our studio, they'd be wet again from like the snow that was like falling. Like, we didn't know how to like live outside of that. It took us the show ran for 3 seasons, and like, it was just like really slow going. There was a secondhand clothing store, kind of similar to Crossroads, called Uptown Cheapskate. And we spent like, I felt like a third of our paychecks on like secondhand clothes. We were like, and so we were, it was like interesting, you know, we didn't understand that we could move around a little bit, but also we're like, we're going to spend like crazy, but it was all like used clothes.
What's your most precious splurge these days? Like, what's the thing that you can spend on now that you really value the most? Like, that you couldn't have done before, but now you're like, yes, this can be a part of my life now.
I think it's brunch.
I was going to say it might be as simple as eating out. Like, I don't eat out anymore because it's just was an easy thing for me to cut. But I think it'd be nice if I could do it without even thinking about it. But brunch is great. I love brunch.
I think it's
Not
brunch.
not quite breakfast, not quite lunch. Brunch, you can have anything. You can have sweet, you can have savory.
Yes,
I
like a little.
Want.
Yes, like I go hard on brunch. I think that's like that's where I want to spend my money. I want to try little Benedicts, and I want to try little lattes, and like get a little like a fresh squeezed orange juice with a latte. Like,
yeah.
I really am unhinged on brunch.
You can get fruit again. It's the sweet, it's the savory.
Yes.
You can go ahead and like have a shrimp cocktail at 10:30 if you want. It's great. It gets a bad rep because of the whole like wine moms or whatever, but like,
well, I guess I'm now a wine mom though. Like I am now a mom. I guess I don't really wine.
Are you a mom? I don't think that's in our.
I'm a mom of a 2.5-year-old kid now.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
So what did that do for your sense of precarity?
I mean, again, too, I feel like really fortunate that I coupled up with the dude who, like both of us have just very like simple. Neither of us have like, well, I guess he does like to buy local art sometimes. But like, he does like his little, and some of his big local art pieces. That's fine.
Brag. Sorry.
I know, really. I am with a cultured man. But he likes books and I like brunch. And that's kind of it for us. You know, he's also in the entertainment industry. He's a screenwriter, and he's felt like the fortune too of like being able to be employed and during some really tough times. And so we just like we share. We have a small space, and you know, like. Neighborhood is really important for us over space. So we enjoy like sharing a small space to be able to be part of like the neighborhood that we want to live in, which is Los Feliz. And so when I got pregnant, it was just, we didn't have those ideas of like, okay, now let's try to move out and get a backyard and stuff. Now we're kind of thinking about it because he's a little bit older, but it's kind of nice to be coupled up with a dude who's just like, he'll hang out with us. We'll continue to share the space, and we've kind of found out that we're both not big space people. You know, we need as many bedrooms as minimally possible, which is currently 1. We're looking for 2.
One of the things that comes up a lot in our show is sort of the value, the importance of having partnership. comes up in a lot of these conversations, especially in terms of how different it can be for someone trying to navigate this economy as a creative with a partner versus without. And we often talk about the practical nature of how it can help. I'm curious, in your case, it sounds like you came into this relationship with a fair amount of past financial trauma. How did it compare to your partners? It sounds like you both kind of are very practical, but I'm wondering if his energy around finances is similar to yours.
It is. It's almost identical. We can't look at our finance.
Neither of you can look at the bills.
I have introduced him to my business manager, and he was like, "Oh my God, what I've been waiting for." And we, like both of us we haven't even really talked about it together. We just are of the same thing. It's just like, look, let's just keep our spending to this. And we got somebody who can tell us if we're really in trouble, and let's just not get in trouble. And there we go. It's interesting. Like we both, neither of us is like the type A in the relationship. And I think like as the years go by, it's like, oh, it'd be nice to have I think it's got to be the kid. I think it's got to come up to like, and honestly, it's kind of working out that way as he's getting more personality or whatever. He's like, he remembers things more than we do. We're forgetting our keys out here. We are not looking at the bills. We are afraid of organization of our lives. But we've kind of found our own way through it. I think we do share that where it's just like, just let's spend within our means. And now we find it. Both of us like came from a place where it's like, we were like, I don't know if he ever was as scared as I was, but like, yeah, just like kids, like, in our 20s, just try to see what we can do. I think he was like substitute teaching for a while. He also worked with children on the spectrum, helping them with social and behavioral skills before he was able to go into screenwriting. And both of us performed live comedy a lot, which is how we met. But I think it's actually really, even though we do both forget our keys a lot, like it actually really serves us to be pretty homogenous. In our perspective on where we're going, because then like we're not driving each other crazy in that way. We're just driving ourselves crazy in a collective way. Does that make sense?
I was like, just sorry. We were going to ask you about, I'm sorry. I actually,
what's going on with your nervous system, Anna?
This is really like, I'm getting stressed out too. Like,
what?
This is like,
tell me about it.
Oh, I don't want it to turn into therapy about me.
Sometimes it happens.
But I'm curious. I mean, and don't people want to hear it unless you don't want to share it? Which is
I want to hear. I vote. I want to hear it.
Vote.
You're all voted. If you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah, I know. I think it's funny. I was actually so I'm just in a real tough spot financially myself right now. I know Mike is too. Like most of the people we talk to, that's what the show is about. Like, I think we are genuinely thrilled to talk to creatives that are not going through it. Like, love to hear a story about someone who's been through it and then can have the gains resilience for it. But like you talking about the toxicity and like full body shake you get thinking about those bills, right? And then having the ability, and you mentioned it's a resource and you're really grateful for it, to have someone else to like just tell you like, I'm dealing with this, you need to know XYZ, like you need to stay in this boundary, and as long as you stay in this boundary you're going to be okay. But how, when you're in the middle of it, like for me, like I'm in that, like I'm a Gen Xer, but I'm in the millennial trap of like I have subscriptions I haven't used in months and months and months, but it's like terrifying to call and cancel them.
Oh my gosh.
Like it feels like I have subscriptions. I have a subscription that is a year. I should have canceled it a year ago. You know, but every time I think to cancel it, I'm like, I don't know how to articulate like how it feels so bad to do it. And I like went to the yoga studio that I was going to cancel, and I started to cancel, and they were like, "Why are you canceling?" And I was like, "Well, I haven't been in a while." And she's like, "Oh, you were just here in October." And I'm like, "You're right." And I really do like this studio. I don't know. She didn't even try to hard sell me.
Right.
But I just like was like, okay, yeah, I could start coming back again. Yeah. Like that version of me that would use that subscription, like wants to be alive. And there's just all this like trauma and stuff wrapped up in it. But then like, I think about if I could just cancel these 5 subscriptions, it would probably be $500 a month. Right. Like if I canceled all the subscriptions I wasn't using, it would be my.
I understand. I also have subscriptions that there's a couple that I have. I try to manage them on my own, but the shame is so great. I can't even communicate with my business manager like that it needs to be like, because it's like the password, like it's also,
crazy, isn't it? And it's just like, and now I'm in this place where I'm like, okay. And then, you know, for me, like all this shame, like it compounds and it gets to like paralyzing. And I'll be honest. So like, my family is stepping in for me like this month. Like I'm getting teary. Like I didn't expect it.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm so grateful. But what I realized as I was thinking about this and you were talking about the bills and stuff is that it actually suddenly feels more possible to cancel those subscriptions. Like now that I know, just that it's because I feel a little safer, I think. It's almost more possible to deal with the stuff that's costing me money.
Yeah, you got a little more room to breathe and actually like feel agency to do something about it rather than be in the constant panic of the tightness of it all, you know?
Yeah, because like just touching money when you're feeling precarity about just touching it when you're feeling like scared just reminds you of how scary it is. I've also thought about like literally I was going to have a friend come over and sit with me because there's a couple subscriptions you have to call, right? Like, 'cause that's the truly terrifying thing. They make you call.
It's so mean. Okay.
And I was going to have a friend come over and literally like sit next to me.
That's a really good idea.
Calls.
That's a really good idea.
Like, I don't think like the Zoom thing, like a friend of mine who lives far away was like, we can do on Zoom. And I'm like, I don't know. I think I might need someone to really like sit and hold my hand.
Literally hold the hand so you have something to squeeze. That is also
and it'll be nothing. And that also feels weird because I know like it'll take 5 minutes and like, oh, and this happened with another subscription. I called to cancel it. And all she said was, are you sure? And I was like, gosh, I don't know, maybe.
Oh,
wow.
I'm a little stuck.
Is it me? Is like, is that insane? It's just.
No, I mean, so many feelings. Like also,
it's like that version of me. I want to be the version of me that can either just quit and not think about it, or like, no, I really will use it.
And it's so many feelings, like right now, like just. Oh my goodness. Like my heart is like so with you because these things hound us. And I knew this coming on the podcast. I knew that I would be coming on as a different kind of guest because and I also want to acknowledge like it can be really difficult when things are difficult in life, like just to like it can be inspiring and it can also bring up some feelings of just like, oh, here is somebody who is not thinking about this. And like that is my truth, you know, like in this chapter, in this moment. And number 2, especially in like the millennial trap. Another thing about the millennial trap is that we were taught that life is a ladder, which is
The Gen X, we got that too.
yeah, right. Which is rude and wrong, and so whenever something feels like that, it feels like the thing that we've been told that is like a rung quote down, like everything in our body, like gets mad and we turn it in on ourselves. Like you said, is it me? And that's just not the truth. The truth is that we're all just like these little balls on the roulette table, the roulette spinner. And I think people who haven't gone through the valleys, and stuff like that, don't know, cause how are you going to know what water is if you're a fish? This is the only world that you are. But if you've had a little gradient of experience, that can be taken away from you at any time. And so like in these days too, it's really important for me to not just be like, yeah, I earned this and I did it because it's just not true. It's just not the reality we're living in. The truth is that I worked really hard and I was extremely lucky. And that's all it is. That is all it is. And so when sometimes I get asked to speak on panels and stuff like that, and people are like, how did you do it? And it's like, look, I was responsible for my small portion of the pie. And then you don't know like who's going to cast you. You don't know when you're going to get a job removed from you. You don't know how the industry is going to change. And here's the thing. We know we're going to be seeing more and more as like these mergers happen and as like journalism gets attacked, it continues to be attacked in an extremely aggressive way. We're all going to be in this windstorm. There is nothing that people really can rely on. There is no ladder ever.
Each other.
That's
I'll just that's what the one of the core values of the show and a core value of mine. And I know Mike, and I assume most of our guests, like what I want to bring us around to all the time is the reason the show exists is because we have more in common with each other than we do different, no matter what. If we're all in this creative economy together and we've chosen to exist in this marketplace, knowing all the risks and doing it because we feel some kind of like calling to it, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're in it together.
Yes. And that might be all we have left. As government resources were like funky to begin with, when like in those lean times and I was applying for unemployment, like what a journey. Everybody knows, I couldn't get through on the line and it was like this and that. And finally, like someone was like, oh, go into the office of unemployment. And so I like went in there and then like when it was my turn to be called, they sat me down in an empty cubicle with a phone. And I like didn't even like, that was like the biggest surprise to me. It felt like given like Severance vibes, just like, here you go, miss, here's your phone, like one barren desk, one like old school telephone, like dial ring, and I'm like, hello, can you I talk to you and I get money to live? These resources, they're I'm trying to think about how much I want to disclose, but I guess it doesn't really matter. People know about this. People know, but we're seing what's happening in Minnesota, and one of the taxes,
come on, yes,
how it relates to like how much we can depend on is that like one of the tactics is freezing mutual aid. Right? Like freezing, Venmo freezing. And like, and that feels so scary. And so like, as we fight the onslaught, as, we find out that corporations and government are actually just the same thing. You know, like two like a bunch of rats in a trench coat, all kind of moving around together. It's the last thing we have left.
If this conversation with Lilan hit close to home, there's more waiting for you on our Patreon.
This week, we go deeper into what happens when you have something to lose and you speak out anyway.
Lilan gets into the real cost of taking public positions in Hollywood and what it's like to lose sleep over something bigger than your own career.
Hear it now and support the show at patreon.com/pastdue.
Are you looking to reclaim your health? Tune into the Real Foodology podcast hosted by me, Courtney Swan, integrative nutritionist and real food activist. I'm on a mission to transform our food system by challenging the corrupt practices that undermine our health and replace them with choices that genuinely support our well-being. Listen to Real Foodology podcast on your favorite podcast app. New episodes every Tuesday.
This time of year, the school calendar really starts to fill up. Spring activities, testing season, and that final push toward the end of the year. It's a great moment for kids to stay focused and build confidence in what they're learning. That's where IXL comes in. IXL is an award-winning online learning platform that helps kids truly understand their schoolwork, from math and reading to writing and science. It's designed for pre-K through 12th grade, with personalized interactive content that adapts to each child's level and pace. IXL makes it easy to stay on track with instant feedback and clear explanations, skills organized by grade level, and simple progress tracking. It fits into even the busiest spring schedules. It's also trusted nationwide. In fact, IXL is used in 96 of the top 100 school districts in the U.S. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. Listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/today. Visit IXL.com/today to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price.
The concept community came up a little bit earlier in this conversation. You were talking about how you were in communication with some folks sharing stories where it sort of was becoming clear to you that you had like taken on less debt than other people. Who do you feel like you're in community with here in LA?
Who do I feel like I'm in community here?
And I don't mean specific people, but like types of people, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
like what is the shape of the community?
Who is your community? Like, what?
Yes.
Where are you finding it?
I'm a neighbor person. I'm a neighborhood gal, and I've had the benefit of I wish more neighborhoods were set up this way, but Los Feliz is a place where housing exists in tandem with business. You're not driving from where the housing is to where the businesses are.
Like mixed use buildings.
Mixed use. Yeah. So you got your Italian restaurant, and then you have apartments on top of the Italian restaurant, back to back to back. And there's still a lot of rent control that exists. So people can stay in the neighborhood. As I like walk my kid in the stroller on weekends, I still see customers from the coffee shop that I used to work at, like we're still here. I feel like so lucky that when I think about my community, I think about my friends, in entertainment. But it's also like the people at Mustard Seed Cafe, shout out to Mustard Seed Cafe, my favorite brunch spot. But like they've seen me grow up. They remember me when I was like a young 20s kid, when I was like trying to bring my laptop to not write my screenplays. Never did. But like big intentions. And then they saw me like go through, bring different like dating partners there, and, and then meet up with my husband, who is also like a Los Feliz guy, and then get pregnant and have a kid. And now they know my kid. This has been everything for me. And my husband and I, like I said, we have means, and so we have options. And as we're looking for our next place, we are trying to see how little space we can get away with by still staying, but still stay in the neighborhood. We are, for us, amenities are less important than people access.
And that's actually how you get to resistance like Minnesota,
Yes.
I was just up there, and it is amazing to me. It's one thing I want to say about Minnesota actually is there's this idea that it's neighbors helping neighbors because they're like friends, and it's actually not that. It's neighbors helping neighbors because they're neighbors.
Right.
Huge.
It means more, I think, because it's not like I have a friend, like, you know, keep everything anonymous. Like there is a house in her neighborhood. There's a house of young Latino men who, in the months previous, were not great neighbors. Let's say, right? It's like 5 or 6 of them weren't the neatest with their trash. Like they're like young men in their 20s, right? But ICE did roll up to their house, and the entire neighborhood was like whistles.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
You know, like you don't have to be friends. You don't have to like totally like think do you know what I mean? Like they would get pissed about they're still probably gonna my friend probably hopes to be pissed about the recycling again someday. Like
right. But it's like
because that would mean things are normal, right?
I read a book called "Let This Radicalize You."
Yeah,
I loved it, and one of the chapters was called something like "Organizing Isn't Matchmaking," and really kind of like opened my world. I feel like, especially in 2020, we're inside. You know, we are thinking about George Floyd. We are thinking about, you know, where like the evils of racism and how it's permeating in every single aspect of our lives. And something that I was definitely guilty of for sure is closing in on my echo chamber and feeling like people that did not share my values were not worth being in contact with. Like, not in an extreme way. I didn't like cut off anybody, but I believed that we had to be close to only people who thought like us. And this is hard, right, too, because it's multifaceted where it's just like, also we don't want to allow, we don't want to excuse the same things we've been excusing for years and years and years and years and years and years, you know. But I remember when I read that chapter in Let This Radicalize You, great book, top to bottom. Like, I think especially very timely right now. If people who may have never thought about community organizing, maybe have never thought about activism, never considered themselves an activist, I think this is a really good like intro, like a really good, accessible, easy way. And it's funny, I got a copy for my brother, but he was like a little worried to read it because it had the word radicalize in it. But it is actually, I find it to be a very unradical book. It's actually like really, really straightforward on what makes fantastic organizing, why we do it. And the chapter about it not being matchmaking was like, look, when all of our rights are like being attacked, it's worth it to stand together because there's more of them, you know, and that's actually a tactic from above, right? To be like, hey, these people aren't worth standing up for because they don't share your trash values, like your own, how do you take out the trash? So yeah.
We're going to wrap up.
It's a very important last segment.
Yeah, the most important last segment. This is a show navigating how creators navigate this economy, and so it's important for us to allow our guests to tell people how listeners can best support them. So, if there's anything you want to plug now?
Oh, that's so nice. Well, there is something first and foremost I want to plug, which is my own podcast. It is called Pondersations. And something I really love is having deep dive conversations with very thoughtful and interesting people. Most of the people on my podcast are like friends from way back, but I also like take a chance on someone who I feel like I can get into it in a real flow way. And I hope when people listen to it, it feels just kind of like having a little brunch latte and like hanging out with us at a little cozy dining table, and like conversations that slow the heart rate and make you feel really good and make you feel like you want to think about more things rather than get you scared. I don't know. It's all important, but yeah, I hope people tune into Pondersations.
Pondersations.
Okay. Correct. It's a portmanteau. It's a little portmanteau. So happy to use that word. Never
it's funny. So it's ponder and pounder, like they're heavy.
Ooh, pounder.
It's like a triple entendre.
Ponder.
Triple. Thank
you so much. And we really, really appreciate bringing your whole self and being candid about both the time of precarity and even more being candid about the time of not being in desperate precarity. And I think it's important for us to have those conversations too. Again, like if we just sit around and feeling guilt about one's stability is destabilizing. And so it's all like we're all existing on this scale, you know. And again, we have more in common than we have different. We have
more in common than we have.
I'm the writer. Differences. Okay, we have more in common than we do have different. No, that still doesn't.
No.
We are more similar than different.
We are more similar than different.
This sounds like a pondersation to me.
I am a writer. I earn my money from writing. Well, with little money.
Lilan, thank you. Once again, I just wanted to also say thank you for being here. Thank you for getting into the vulnerable space of being able to talk about when things were tough. We know that's not always easy to do, but it can be very inspirational for a lot of people. So we appreciate it.
Thank you so much for receiving me. I had a wonderful time.
Anna, I think it's time for our plugs.
Okay.
I'm so curious about how things are going with your various exploits with the Patreon and the YouTube.
Well, you know, February turned out to be kind of a tough month for me, just on the whole emotional roller coaster.
You just said tough in a way that was so tough that I know it must be tough because I've never heard it said like that.
You know, there are always ups and downs. I feel like I'm starting to get a handle on things, and also doing this show has been really valuable for me in terms of I think our conversation with Mary Robinette Kowal did a lot for me in terms of recasting, not just starting Patreon, but recasting like my whole outlook as being, this is just my ecosystem and it has to be tended to as a global thing. And also talking to you and being reminded that it just has to happen these days. Like my life is different than it used to be, and I have to create content. It's just that's
what it is.
That's what it is. So after a little bit of a unintentional hiatus, my Patreon is going well.
Great.
My YouTube channel, I had a kind of a bust video, but today or yesterday, early March, I don't know when this airs, I started a little experiment of doing a YouTube short / Instagram reel every morning before I do any makeup, before I try to do my hair, and just like refusing to pay the female tax.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just going to do a video, top of the dome, and I'm hoping that kind of breaks me of the habit of overthinking and trying to look a certain way on camera, because fuck it, man. Like, this is the future.
You don't need any challenges to your productivity at all, especially ones that are societally imposed. You don't need that. So yeah, We're rooting for you.
Thank you very much. But I do have the Patreon, patreon.com/HonoraryCox2, YouTube channel /HonoraryCox, and the other podcast, Space the Nation. And you, Mike, creating daily.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch 3 days a week when I'm at home. I've been on tour a bit, so just got home a couple days ago, and I got another round of dates in May. U.S. and Canada, Brooklyn, Montreal, Toronto, Lansing, Michigan, and Cleveland, Ohio. And then also in May in the EU and UK at Amsterdam, Springs, Germany, Brighton, Bristol, London, Nottingham, Leeds, Glasgow, and Manchester. And tickets are on sale for all of those now if you go to mikeeagle.net. So I got that stuff. And check me out on YouTube as well. Right after you get finished looking at what Anna just made that day, I will probably have made something that week. If you haven't seen it, come check me out.
All right. It is good talking to you as usual, Mike.
It fills my heart, and I appreciate it every week.
Past Due is hosted by Anna Marie Cox and Open Mike Eagle. It's produced by Andrew Steven. You can find more at pastduepodcast.com. Help support the show by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/pastdue. You'll get bonus content, extended interviews, and more. As always, if you like what we're doing, another way to help is by subscribing, sharing the show, and leaving us a review. Thanks for listening.
Stop doom scrolling. Start decoding the tech, rewiring your week and your world. The Interface is the BBC's fiercely informed, fast, and funny take on how technology is changing everything.
Hosted by journalists Tom Tremaine, Karen Howe, and Nikki Wolf, each episode unpacks week by week the unfolding story of how technology is shaping all our futures. No guests, no jargon, just three sharp voices debating the tech news stories that matter. Whether they shook a government, broke the internet, or quietly tipped the balance of power.
As TikTok shifts geopolitics, Trump drives digital shockwaves, Elon Musk expands his space internet empire, and AI reroutes the routines of everyday life. The trio asks, what world are the tech titans building for us? And do we want to live in it?
Find The Interface from the BBC wherever you get your podcasts.
Not all darkness is dangerous. Sometimes it's the doorway to becoming whole. On the brand new podcast, The Shadow Sessions, hosted by me, Hibab Al-Faqih, a psychologist and trauma expert, we shed light on the hidden corners of the human experience. Through raw, unfiltered conversations from the edge of healing, The Shadow Sessions invites you to do the deeper work that leads to real change. Follow The Shadow Sessions wherever you're listening now.